Good morning. Sorry about that, y'all. All of a sudden, all at one time, my iPad was going dead. Let me turn this light on. I want you to see all the amazing colors of this chest that we worked on Saturday. If you were here with me in the store, thank you so much for spending your time and watching the tutorial with me. If you weren't here in the store, I really hope that you were able to join me on the Rethunk Junk main page. And we did this amazing blend. Let me ease it on over for you to take a look at. Wild berry, flamingo, coral crush, and down here at the bottom, sunflower. All the beautiful colors of the flowers in spring. We did the nice gentle colors of spring in March. Here we are in April, and no fooling, we had an amazing time on Saturday blending these colors, creating our cut lines, our blend lines. We did all the things with all the colors and made this pretty little chest a beautiful ombre of spring florals. Well, what's next? Because you know I'm not through yet. Well, one of the beautiful things about being a retailer for Rethunk Junk Paint and a stockist for Iron Orchid Design Products is that I have all the things in the store all the time. One of the tragedies in that is that I can't just grab them and use them because I need to sell them. You want them, so I try to make sure I don't use them. I have them for you. One of the products I have not used is Wander. It is such a beautiful and amazing watercolor floral. And if you look on the back, there are some beautiful images of the different ways this has been used. I love the saying, not all who wander are lost. I love that. Means a lot, doesn't it? But not all who wander care if they're lost or not. Some who wander just want a pretty little chest of drawers. And I thought this would be an amazing finish to this. I think what we can do today is apply this transfer set to this beautiful ombre, and then we can embellish it with some stamped flora and fauna. We can embellish it with some extra little greenery. I think we can do more. I think we can make it amazing. And I think it would be a great way to kick off Tuesday. What do you think? What was your favorite part of hanging out with us on Saturday and doing this project? Mine was that we were live and we had folks in here watching live. That was kind of neat. I love the different colors as well. I'm going to scoot this camera over because I want you to be able to get a good full visual of where I'm placing, because this is different. This one actually has a rhyme or reason. It's a scene. So I want to make sure I get the scene in the right place. And that's not going to be simple, but I think we can do it. I'm going to go ahead and split the screen so you can watch the whole thing unfold. By the way, I'm Diane Pruitt. We're live at Two Girls Treasure in Florence, South Carolina. There are a lot of amazing things coming up. I'm gonna make sure that we're live so that you can watch this and so you can share this. Let's see. Are we live? If we're live and you're here, yes. Say hello, say good morning, and join me for the fun. Thank you. This is 4 sheets, And what I discovered when I was studying on this Saturday and again yesterday is that these sheets actually do place together. So you can see the stem right here goes to the stem right here. And this is where these lines are really helpful. I'm gonna need to grab my scissors so that when I lay these down, I don't lay an image over the top of an image. So let me grab those. I'm gonna walk in front of you. Pardon me, because they're right here on the table. Also, on these first two, these lay together. You see the flower right here, and you see the stem right here. Well, those lay together as well. But you see how it's not symmetrical this way? It lines up here. It's an interesting layout, one that's not terribly difficult to work with. I like it. And I think it will be absolutely beautiful put together. I thought about cutting this all apart, but I'm not sure that that's exactly what I want to do. I think what I need to do is, because this is the first time I'm using this particular transfer set, I just want to cut it apart, create my composition, and let's let it live. If we need to add more, we can always add more. I think I have a couple extra on the shelf. I'm going to grab some tape right here in the studio. I'm not using my low tack tape for this. I'm using my blue tape. It'll be okay. This has been dry since Saturday. I did pull the drawers out, clean the edges off so the drawers won't be stuck. I'm gonna bump these drawers back in so they're flush, because before I lay my imagery down, I wanna make sure I have a nice smooth flat surface to go to. So let's get started. How was your weekend? And guess what? I bet these dried overnight because I did this yesterday. How was your weekend? How was the start to your week? What are you working on? We're coming up on spring break. We're coming up on Easter. There are a lot of different things happening. What are you involved in, and what are you working on? All right, we'll have to do this the good old-fashioned way. You ready? Give it a bump, break it loose. There we go. I was in here yesterday working. There we go. Just that one. And anytime you add paint, keep in mind, you're adding material, so you're creating a buildup. There we go. Nice and straight, flush all the way top to bottom. That'll make a nice lay down. Now I have this tape on here, and I have this tape on the handle screws because I turned the handles inside out when I was painting it. So let's just go ahead, pull the tape off. I turned the handles to the inside and the screws to the outside. That way I would have something to grab hold of to open and close the drawers. We'll just go ahead and take those off, and let me show you where these need to be cut. This needs to be cut right underneath this flower and all the way across to this line right here. You see where the stem comes down? It fits to the next piece below it. So we want to make sure as we're rolling forward that we first put our glasses on, and second, we want to make sure that we get that cut line where the pieces of transfer are going to fit together. Now I'm going to cut it right up against it. I'm going to come on across, and I'm going to cut right up against that. Kick that out, and there we go. my bottom line is not straight. It's okay. This will go on first, and then we'll fit the second piece to this one. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to tack this up because it does not fit top to bottom. These are 12 by 16 sheets since they're turned sideways. Good morning, Lynette. Good morning, Faye. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that someone's here with me watching. And I dressed to match. I dressed to match. It's not going to cover top to bottom, but before we do anything, we just want to get it on here so we can see what we're working with. Always compose your imagery before you start working on it, because once you start working on it and you lay this down, that's where it's going to live. Best thing to do is lay it out. Compose what you're working with. Take a look at it and make sure it's what you love. Make sure it's the way you want it to be laid out. You can always shift it if you tape it. You cannot shift it once you've laid it down. These are sticky and permanent and beautiful and fun to work with. Go right around the top edge of those blue flowers. Now, this is the bottom. That's where your blue flower goes, right there. Because, well, no, your red flower, there's your red stem right there. That fits right there. That fits right there. Your blue flower is just kind of hanging out there in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? Interesting. Well, we will put it together the best we can. Oh, the blue flower goes to this stem right here. Sure does. Let's cut down to that so we don't have any extra. Sometimes it's funny the way these things are printed and how they fit together. So you do need to take that extra little minute to make sure you've got it in the right place. And if you don't, it's okay. Only someone who's picky is going to have anything to say about it. Now, you've got another cut line right here. You see the end of that stem? You want to make sure that you get to the end of that stem. Down here, only because I had to fit it when I looked at it yesterday, there's a piece of a rose right here. So I don't want to cut all the way up to it, in and out. I'm just going to cut to the edges of those peaks on the petals. And I'll cut right to the edge of the greenery, toss that out to the side, and then that's going to fit just right. That should fit just right like that. There we go. Oh, we're getting it. We're getting it. The beautiful thing about the grid lines is that you can line them up straight. Now, I can drive in a straight line really fast, but drawing a straight line, whole other story. Completely different. Let's tape that down right there. I'm going to hold it with my elbow, and I'm going to grab some tape. Of course I shifted. Of course I did. That's all right. Wasn't taped down, wasn't opened up. Now I'm going to tip it just a little bit, and I might have to make an adjustment with it. I'm going to tape this to this. I don't want to tape this yet because I've got two more pieces coming this way. So let's take a look at how those fit together. Now I know I've gotten these mixed up, but I believe this one is the top piece and this one is the bottom piece. And I have my handy little tool right here. I'm going to go ahead and peel some tape off before I put that on. I'm going to get me 4 pieces of tape out. There we go. Now these just sort of lay together. There's nothing that connects here, nothing at all. So I can leave some space in between them, but I need to make sure this lines up. So I should probably start with my bottom piece first, just to make sure that this comes across exactly where it should, and then I can lay this down on top of that last. So let's go to this piece. This is where that edge of the rose fits in, right there. There's a little tip of a leaf right there that connects to the other side. This connects up to the other piece. This connects up to the other piece. So we're pretty good right here. I do need to hit that cut line. So let's do that. Just simple and easy. And these are the steps to take when you're preparing to do a transfer. If it's not a full sheet transfer, or it's a transfer that the images lay together, you just want to take that extra minute of preparation and cut those edges so that when you lay them together, it is exactly what it needs to be. We're going to do the same thing across this top edge because we want this to lay together with the upper portion the way it was intended. And I have my big scissors. Ever since we put the new workstation in the studio, my supplies are askew. And we've been getting ready for the flower show. Can you believe it's coming so quickly? April 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, right here at the Petey State Farmers Market. We are going to celebrate spring and summer with the Plant and Flower Festival. Love to see you here. There we go. That's going to fit together just like that. And let's do that. That's going to fit together right there. I believe that's how that's going to lay across. There we go. And then, oh, there's the flower. Those go together right there. All right, I'm going to get a piece of tape. I'm not going to tape these two together. I'm going to tape this to the side, and I'm going to tape it. I need to tape it somewhere where it's not connected. So we're going to tape it right here. And I'm going to tape it. This is going to be connected. This is not, so I'm going to tape it right there. Now, I didn't measure side to side, but I can visually see I'm shifted to the left, so all of this is going to need to come over before I lay this out. I did not measure. I didn't measure. It's okay. You don't have to get that technical when you are putting your transfers on. You want everything to line up, but you don't have to be that specific. All right, let's work our way around the pieces that fit together from the bottom to the top. There's our nice little burnt orange rose and our sweet little, I don't think those are forget-me-nots because they would probably be purple, but those dainty little flowers that grow up, they can't be more than an inch off the ground. I love them. They're so precious. All right, we got our bottom edge cut. I'm going to move those so I don't kill myself. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this edge down because this is the edge. I'm going to cut this extra out so it'll be easier to move. But we don't need all this extra on here. Cut it out. I probably just like the fact that my job involves cutting and pasting. I probably just like that. We'll cut this part out right here too. Come down and boom. So we've gotten rid of some of that extra. I can get rid of some of this extra on the top portion here because we just don't need it. It'll be in the way. I like to cut these down so that it's easier to lay them in. I know it gives me extra moving parts to work with, but I don't mind that. It gives me less material and it gives me a better visual of what I'm working with. I like that. All right, scissors down. If you have any questions while we are going, please feel free to stop me. Now, I'm gonna push these in. I do not want my transfer pieces over the screws. But if it happens to fall that way, and it will on this side, that flower is going to be right there, then I'm going to be real careful not to rub that on because that's where my knob is going to go. And I actually, oh, I have the most beautiful knobs for this. They're green glass trumpet flowers with a little yellow insert, and I've had them forever and I've been dying to do a piece that they would work for, and I'll bet this would be the piece. Because this is gonna fall over the top of that screw, and even though we're gonna move it over, it's still probably gonna fall over the top of the screw. I'll open the drawer and let's take that particular knob off. That way the screw's not in the way. We can lay the transfer in flat to the drawer and we won't lose any of the imagery. Because if we're gonna use those glass trumpet flower knobs, we don't wanna lose a single bit of this transfer image. It's gonna be beautiful. Now, let's do the old thumb measurement or finger measurement. One side to the next. And I think if we just scoot this over about 1/4 of an inch, we will be good. And then we'll scoot this in just a little bit and scoot the bottom edge. We probably need to stay right. Where do my flowers go together? Interesting. My leaf doesn't go to anything. How about that? This goes to that. And that, I see, that just lays over the top of that one, and my rose lays, I see it now. Do y'all see it now too? Thank you so much. I love the color combination on this one. The blend and these colors and the spring, summer. I just love how vibrant these colors are. And I wanted to show you a way that you can use these to create the ombre blend, but to also embellish it with something completely unique. I know it's a mass-produced transfer set, but everyone's project is different. Everyone's. I'm gonna step back away from it and I'm gonna look to see if we're straight, and I'm gonna look to see how far over I need to shift this to make it work. I actually think I might want to bring it down a little bit. Let me show you how we can do this, because we've got a little bit extra lip edge down here, and I might want to just go ahead and use this to backdrop this. So we're going to shift over a little bit because we've got part of the drawer showing here, none of the drawers showing here, right? We want this to all fit together. It's a beautiful puzzle. So let's take this piece first, and we'll come down into that beautiful coral crush blend with the sunflower, and we're going to cover to the edge of the drawer. I think once we do that, we should have just what we need. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more tape to hold it. There we go. Let me make sure I've got it on straight. That should hold it right there. And let's bring this one down. And we'll lay that together. That goes there. That fits there. Everything is straight. We're to the edge of the drawer. Let me pull it over a little bit more. There we go. Oh, we're not going to miss anything right there. Now I do have screws under here and under here. One here, one here. So we want to be, forgot to pull the tape, there we go. We want to be really careful across the top of those screws. All right, we've moved these down. That'll give us the wild berry top. I like that. What do y'all think? Let's move this one down. So gently peel it off. I'm not really worried about the paint coming off because this has been painted since Saturday. I worked on it more Saturday evening after the live on the main Rethunk Junk page. Join us on the main Rethunk Junk page more often. There are some fantastic projects being done by the retailers of Rethunk Junk paint. And see, now I'm going to be that far off the edge of the drawer that way. You know what? I don't mind. I'm going to let it live right there. I'm going to take this extra piece of tape. I'm going to hold that in. This lines up. These are going to line up. And let's move this down so that this lines up here. There's my stem for that. Everything is in its right place. Let me make sure, somebody tell me if that's straight. Here we go. That should be perfectly straight right there, or close enough to call it. I love it. Can you see it? I can. I can. Let's find the tool. Those are scissors. Those won't do me a bit of good. And you know I just set it down right on the edge. Right on the edge. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to bring the phone down, so if you have any questions, just stop me. I can see you. All right. Let's see. Let's pull that back up. And we're going to go right here and do a solo view, because that way it'll bring you in and we can chat while we're working. All right. Now, the next question is, which piece do you start with so that you get the full imagery and you don't mush up your lineup? Because we just spent all that time making sure this is lined up. I swear this one just needs to move over just a little bit. That'll drive me crazy. I say I don't care. I care. I care. So we'll move it over just a little piece. And then we can move this one over. And I think this bottom right is the one I want to start with anyway. Because if I start with the bottom right, I think everything will go in line from there. You've just got to choose the one you want to start with and work everything together from that one piece. So let's take this off. Just take the tape loose. Not a big deal. Pull the tape off your cover sheet because you don't want it to impede on the rest of your imaging. And let's do this. Are you ready? I'm excited. I love the color combination too. These are some of the happiest colors you could paint with. And making them floral, oh, they're happier than ever. All right, before we lay this down, we're gonna give it a little bit of room on the right side. We're gonna make sure we're underneath the top portion, underneath the portion on the left. Once you lay it down, you're gonna be committed. So make sure you're straight and you're where you wanna be. That's that funny little drawer. There we go. And I will get the razor blade out and we will cut that line, because that drawer is just gonna be my albatross today. It's old, y'all. It's an old drawer, and old drawers don't always fit properly, so you have to work with it. Let me grab my razor blade. Lynette Blackman loves it when I go get my straight blades out. We're gonna cut this right here at the edge of the drawer, gently and smoothly. Gently and smoothly, because you wanna make sure that where you cut is gonna lay down on your upper portion and on your drawer portion. There we go. Let's let this, oh, that already laid down. Silly transfer piece. I'm gonna lay that down upside down. We're not gonna disrupt that, and we'll be okay right there. But I'm gonna cut relief where the knob is gonna be. That will help the transfer piece lay down. There we go. Take the corner edge of the razor blade, and I went right across the slot for the screw into that transfer edge. It's okay. I love it when it does that, because it just lays it down right there, right around the edge of that screw, because that's the hole for it anyway. All right, let's lay this transfer in here. Oh, this comes off so easily. There we go. Sometimes the transfer pieces don't come off so easy. I think part of the problem is we get in a hurry and we forget that the paint really has to dry before we put the transfers on. If we don't let the paint dry, the transfers aren't going to stick the way they should. And we really want them to look beautiful, so we should give our paint ample dry time. And since this was done on Saturday, it has had plenty of time to dry well. I'm loving this. We're gonna have to cut the line down here at the bottom too. Gently, smoothly, don't saw at it. If it doesn't cut the first time, go back and do it again. Lay that down as you're going. If you can't see the line, feel for it and keep going. Take your sharp edge. Don't try to lay it flat, because cutting it flat is not going to get it cut well. Don't cut your wood. Just cut your drawer line. Let's get this bottom done. It's going to come off so easy now, because it already had that air up underneath it. There we go. Sometimes when you're putting your transfers on, you get angles, and the angles are not conducive to a good lay down. Does that make sense? In other words, where you've got a cut line or where you've got a drawer handle, it doesn't lay flat. If it laid flat and it was perfect to move on to there, life would be simple, easy, and you could just roll through like it was nobody's business. It doesn't always work that way. So since you have cut lines, since you have architecture, take the time, compose your images before you start laying them out. And as you're laying them out, if you face challenges in the way it goes down onto your surface, slow down, take the time, and work it out. Manipulate it. It's perfectly fine to manipulate it the way you need. Go slow so you don't tear the transfer image. If you do, lay it back down together. You can always take your small paint brushes when you're done, and you can fill in the blank spots where you missed or where you cut or where you tore or where it just got a little crack in it. It's okay. Take your shiny side. Let's smooth all this together. And that bottom's done. I love the way that looks. Now let's get this, and then we'll put that piece back in, okay? Got the roses, the daisies. This is all the things spring. And if you have not been out here lately, it is really looking like spring. I hope it looks like spring at your house too. I hope it's beautiful and amazing. All right, let's run these in. This is gonna be so pretty on these colors. This was the perfect transfer set for this chest. Absolutely perfect. I'm excited that we chose this. I'm gonna tip this edge right here. Got that. That's the lock hole. So we definitely wanna cut around that, because that's not going to do us any good to cover. It went over just a little bit. It's okay. Gives us a little piece extra if we need it. Lay that leaf in. Oh, that's nice. I know you can't see where I'm rubbing right that second because the other sheet is over the top of my hand, but I can't wait to show you how that covered over the lock. Because this one's so old, it has a functional locking mechanism. It's not just for looks. And I have a piece of blue flower. I'm gonna lay that there. Let's see if I can, there we go. We might need that somewhere else. There we go. Coming off real nice. The first piece probably is taking longer, only because I'm trying to make sure I've got it all lined up right. I don't mind taking a little bit extra time when I'm putting a transfer piece on, because I don't want to lose my detail. I don't want to skip a beat. I don't want to miss a piece. Got a little white dot right there for that flower I don't want to lose. And it's on. Oh, what a great start. What a great start. I love it. I'm going to rub over where that screw is because all of that will go away once we flip the hardware. And I'm gonna leave this edge alone until we get done. I can pull the drawer out, and then once I seal this, those pieces will stay on just nice. All right, now I have a piece that belongs right here, and we have to lay it in because it's the piece that connects these pieces. So ever so gently, I am going to lay this back in where it belongs, right here. And that's gonna go underneath that edge, just so. There we go. Easy to line up. I've got a solid drawer edge right there to use. Gonna run it over, don't want to lay it over the top of the other ones. And those pieces came straight off. That was kind of handy and helpful. They just went ahead and transferred themselves on. All right, let's get that leaf. We're gonna have a cut line right there because of the drawer. And I usually tend to cut them as I go. Good morning, Miss Judy. Good morning, Marianne. Thank you for being here. All right, let's see. There we go. Rolling right along. And I think I saw Debbie and Donna. Thank you for being here. Gracie, I hope you're still with us, and I hope you're loving how these colors move together with this transfer. Every project doesn't have to be complicated. I know I do a lot of complicated finishes, only because I really want to show you, you can do it, complicated or not. The products are here. If you have the time, or you really want to use all the things, you can. Just take your time, do all the parts that you love, step away when you need to, and come back to it. Create your own masterpiece. There's our train. Ooh, that means it is 1/4 till we're supposed to be done. So I need to get a move on, don't I? We have some reels coming. Who makes reels? I think they're fun. They're fun to watch, not so simple to make. But we'll have some reels called After the Live, because I know you want to see, once I'm finished, what this all looks like. There we go. I'm gonna have to shore up that silly drawer. We'll get it. We'll get it. If I was 100 and some years old, I might be a little wonky too. Look how beautiful those colors work on this blend of Rethunk Junk paints. I'm in love with it. All right, piece 2. Now, we're gonna gently move that one out of the way. Just knocked it completely over. Let's make sure all our pieces are lined up. And they are. Lay them down. Let me make sure I'm straight. Make sure my rose is right where it needs to be. Make sure my stem is right where it needs to be. We're going to be right there, and that is just right. Start from the center out. There we go. We need to trim around here. I know I was going to take the knobs out, but we're going to run out of time if I start doing hardware. So we'll just trim around it, cut some relief in it. If you have an X-Acto, I grab a razor blade because I have a lot of them for the box cutters and such. And I just like using them like this. I can manipulate them just fine. There we go. Laid out nice and easy. Smooth it on. Everything's lined up. There we go. Rub it on. give it a good once over if you get the chance. That makes it go on so much easier. Oopsie. Gently on the edges, Diane, gently. There we go. All right. We've got a cut line down here. Gently cut that. Because we're in pieces, I'm doing it just a little at a time. I want those pieces to stay right where they're supposed to be. There we go. Straight across the bottom of the drawer and right here as well. We've got a cut line across the top of the drawer, right there. Okay. Lay that in gently so it stays right where it's supposed to. It's harder to do the cut line on the upside. There we go. And back across right here. There we go. And as someone that came in on Saturday looked at my colors and kind of gave me that sweet, bless your heart look about all the colors I used. But now it makes sense, doesn't it? I knew what I was doing, y'all. All right, right here. We're gonna grab that piece, make sure that leaf is on. It is. I'm doing this little edge in between the drawers. I like consistency in the movement of the transfer in between the drawers. I don't like to miss a thing. Sometimes you don't have a choice but to jump up and leave this line in between the drawers alone. Sometimes you have the choice, and it makes all the difference in the consistency of your visual. I like the consistency, just like that. All right, let's get this on. We'll do this top edge, because this one started going on perfectly from the get-go. Little top of the rose right here. And this, even though we did it just a little while ago, this is so reminiscent to me of the bungalow transfer that we did on the hutch top. Now, I absolutely adore the way that hutch top looked. I have not been able to find the base that I want for it, but I have some legs, and I think we're gonna put some fancy legs and just let it be a low slung lighted cabinet full of wild goodness. And you know what? This is gonna match that. And I'm not a matchy-matchy person, although I did dress to match this chest this morning. But I think this next to the bungalow is just gonna make a beautiful statement of color and style. Could be wrong. I don't think so. All right, I'm gonna come over here to this edge. We'll work our way back. Let me see if I can get, well, I can't get, there we go, I got it. I couldn't get up underneath the edge there. I cut that one pretty tight because we needed to fit it to the next piece. Do you find that you have trouble fitting your transfer pieces together when they come in sheets? Now, the tubes, when we had those, boy, they were great because it was a one-piece unit, but it was so big it had to be rolled up, and unrolling them was kind of tough. There we go. All right. go. And this piece is going on much quicker than the bottom piece. Once you get started, it just kind of rolls right along. We've got some boxes right there on the table if you can see them. Fresh paint in stock, new product in stock. I'm excited. I can't wait to demo that new product. There we go. I think we got it all, including little tiny bits of, oh, that's so pretty. Up here, got just a little bit. Let's make sure it's lined up, just like that. This little piece right here. How are we doing for time, y'all? 9:53. I've got 7 minutes. I may not get the whole transfer on. But I'm sure gonna try. There we go. One little piece right here. One little piece right there. This is so beautiful. Let me rub this on. I'm going to use a flat top to seal this because I really don't want it satiny, shiny. I want it more matte finish. So I'm going to use the flat top to finish this out. Now I want to do this bottom piece. Let's take the tape off. Now that we have the right side done, lining up the left side will not be so difficult because it all fits together. You don't have to fit it together if you don't want to. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. You don't have to fit it together. You can cut it apart, you can stretch it out, you can use it any way you want to. It is your art project. Don't let anybody tell you what color the crayons are supposed to be. That is straight. I'm going to lay that in right there. Going to the center, and I'm going to run this out to the sides. I've got a screw right here. So let's cut the relief in that screw. Let me find the slot in it. Gently. Okay, it goes this way. That makes it easier to cut the relief. There we go. And we'll cut right around it. This one's right in the middle of a rose. I think it'll be okay. If it's not, I will use my little bitty paint brushes and I will daub it in, fix my mistakes, and we're the only ones who are going to know about it. You're not going to tell on me, are you? It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut the line at the drawer edge. There we go. That goes on the bottom, just like that. And let's see if my left hand will work for me today. I keep it flat as I cut so I don't lose any of my image. There we go. I don't want it hanging over because the drawer will eat it up. There we go. And then let's do the bottom first. This wonky drawer wants to give me a fit today. Wonky drawers. 100-year-old drawers, actually. Yeah. Because this is about a 19 teens, 1920s piece. Not quite antique, but old enough that it is just obstinate in certain places. And that's okay. We get a little bit more obstinate as we get older, don't we? We know things. All right, lay that down, and there's my beautiful rose right there. I love this piece. Oh, I love how this looks with all the colors. It looks like it's made for it. It looks like all these colors are made for this transfer. Could not have asked for any better. There we go. We'll go right around that screw hole. We'll get this flattened out right here. That came off easy. There we go. I'm really not left-handed, but there are times doing my crafting that my left hand just seems to know exactly what to do. There's that lock mechanism. I love that we have that. I love that snap, crackle, pop sound. That means the air is helping us move that image. If you catch that, do it gently so you don't tear it. There we go. Just gently. It helps move that transfer off your acetate onto your surface. So easy. There we go. Now I'm going to, got a little piece of blue right there. It's on. All right. We need to cut this, and it is 10 a.m. Time flies when you're having fun. It's time for me to be the responsible business owner. Open the store, get things done. We're gonna have a day here at Two Girls Treasure, and I hope that you're gonna be part of it. Let me move myself out of the way. I love this. I'll finish this section right here, and we will do we'll do a reel for after the live so that you can see the whole thing. I'm going to try to get up off the floor now, gently and easily. Let's not tear anything up on the way. And I'll get all those things out of the way so I don't die tripping over them. How about that? I'm Diane Pruitt. We're here at Two Girls Treasure in Florence, South Carolina. It's a beautiful Easter week, Passover. It's the Holy Week. I pray for you and your family and your friends, your pastor, and I pray that you have the most wonderful and amazing spring break. We will be back on next Tuesday with another wonderful Coffee and Create Don't forget to shop the collection if you're on our website watching. The Coffee and Create collection coupon code for April is showers. April showers bring May flowers. So save when you purchase online using the coupon code showers. And if you are a bag holder, you have a gift waiting for you with your purchase of Rethunk Junk Paints from the Coffee and Create collection in April. Thanks so much for being here. Catch the replay if you didn't get to watch this live. Make sure you drop a hashtag replay and share this with your friends and family. All the products that you see us use during Coffee and Create are available to you in store and online. twogirlstreasure.com. Thanks for being here. I will look forward to seeing you again next week. God bless.